The views and opinions of the guests on the Wyleaner Show are those of the guests and are not necessarily the views and opinions of the hostess Wyleaner and or her co-host.
She's always dealing with reality. With love she imparts a song to the heart. She knows that who's a song will make you grow. Come on and find out what you need to know. The planet is a golden mode. Where the rubber meets the road. Come on, say yes. The Wyleaner Show.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I'm back. What's up, everybody? Y'all know what show this is. Y'all know who I am. I'm Wyleaner, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. Y'all know what show this is. This is the Wyleaner Show, and this is where the rubber meets the road. And if I tell you I'm excited to be back with you guys again today, oh, it's going to be a bomb show. It's going to be a bomb show. I want to welcome everybody back. I want to welcome all of my fans back. Everybody who is watching out there on Facebook, all my Facebook fans, all my Twitter fans, everybody who is listening on Spreaker, and those who are watching on YouTube, and those who are watching on WyleanerTVShow.com. I'm excited that you came back with me again today. And y'all know what I always tell you on the second disclaimer. This is a very serious and it's a hard-hitting show. And you may want to think long and hard to see if you can cope with the information that is about to be released here on this show. Just keep in mind, everyone, this is to educate you. The Wyleaner Show makes the rubber meet the road, and that means I bring it, okay? And sometimes you may not be able to deal with it nor accept this information. And just keep in mind, it is your decision, not my decision for you, okay? And I'm excited. I have my guest with me today. If I tell you, I'm very excited about that. I have my guest with me today. I was actually supposed to have two guests, and I don't know where my other guest is. I guess either he's running late or he's just not going to be here. But guess what? One monkey don't stop no show. I know y'all done heard that cliche before, and I had to put it out there like that. Y'all know Wyleaner, I have to bust the move sometime. Okay, and so listen, everybody. I want to let you know that I definitely do have. I was supposed to have a guest, Don C. Harris, chiming in from Pie Town, New Mexico, who's not with us at this time, but I do have. Oh my gosh, y'all, I tell you, the Wyleaner Show is just a bomb. I have a guest chiming in all the way from London, England. Boy, I'm telling you, the true technology is something else. This lady is chiming in all the way from Sutton. Anyway, Sutton, England, London, England. She gonna give it to you straight, okay? Because y'all know me, I'll tear it up in a minute. But it is what it is. And so I'm excited that she is with us, and her name is BIRGITTA VISSER. BIRGITTA VISSER. Woo! That's a rough one right there. But you know, what can I say? Nobody can say too much. I can't say too much because Wyleaner is not an easy one either. So anyway, listen, the topic today is who will you recognize on the other side? What about your husband? What about your wife? What about your children? What about your friends, your BFF, okay? Will you recognize any of your loved ones on the other side? And it's going to be a rubber meet the road show, I tell you, because my guests have some information on to share with you today from their perspective point of view. And I'm excited about it. And listen, you everybody out there, you get ready because you must ask them the right questions too, okay? And this is gonna be deep, so strap up your boots and get ready to find out what they have to say about who will you recognize on the other side. Okay, so today is part one of a two-part show. And so listen, but before that, I want to make sure that you guys shoot me an email. Shoot me an email at WileyandTheTVShow@AOL.com with your topics, your suggestions, your questions, and your comments. Okay, please do that. Shoot me an email, WileyandTheTVShow@AOL.com. Friend me on Facebook, if you will. And please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, while you're watching, click that subscribe button right there and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll know exactly when the Wiley Show is coming on and be alerted and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, and the phone lines will be open today. They definitely will be open today. And the phone line number is 702-850-5580. That's 702-850-5580. So when you call in, you listen a bit and then you call in with your questions or your comments about what my guests are talking about, what they consider to be the quote unquote truth. Okay. And what you need to do when you call in is make sure you can disagree with them. I don't care. You can say, hey, no, that is not true. That's not true. I don't care. That's not what I believe. All right. You can tell them that. But make sure you disagree respectfully. Okay. Remember what I always tell you. Don't call in here being disrespectful, because if you do, I'll introduce you to what I call a brand new click, and that's hang up the phone. Okay. Mute your speakers when you call in and talk to the person, talk to me on the phone, ask your question, and then hang up and take your answer off the air. Okay. And I always tell you, don't ask me no questions, because I'm telling you right now, I have no idea. I'm clueless. I'm here trying to learn just like you are. All right. And don't be rude to my guests. Make sure that you are very respectable when you call in. And so just hang up the phone. If you call and the line is busy, hang up the phone and call back and try again. Okay. Don't leave a message, because I'm not checking messages. And so just keep trying till you get through. All right. So listen, we usually take a commercial break, but what I want to do is just kind of share with you a little bit, ask you, if you will, if you enjoy the Wiley Show and you think it's a great show, okay, and you get a kick out of me acting a fool with y'all and stuff like that. And then of course, all jokes aside, you appreciate the information that I put out here to you on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. You appreciate that. And you learn a little something every week. I mean, I think every day should be a learning curve for all of us. And I feel like we should learn something each and every day that we live on this planet here. And so with that being said, if you feel that you learn anything at all from the Wiley Show and you enjoy watching my guests and listening to what they have to say and that type of thing, and of course you enjoy calling in and voicing your own opinion, great. That's a wonderful thing for you to do. Please make a donation to the show to help keep the show going, and help me with the marketing of the show, because I got to put the word out there and have to spend a few dollars, just to keep that part going and let everybody know what's happening with the Wiley Show. So your donation would be greatly appreciated. And you can do that at WileyandTheTVShow.com and click that pay button up there at the top of the screen. And there's a little drop down and it'll give you all kinds of amounts of money that you can donate. Now, I don't care how much it is, just whatever it is, every little bit helps. Or if you want to donate $1 million to the Wiley Show, hey, bust the move. If that's what you choose to do, I'm okay with that too. All right, so listen, I'm excited. And so what I want to do is go ahead and start by introducing my guest that I have with me today. Like I said, my other guest, he's not with me, and I'm not sure, maybe he had some type of technical issues or health issues, or who knows what happened. Okay, but hey, we got London, England on the line, and that's good enough for me right about now. So I'm excited, and I want to bring to the forefront my guest. Her name is BIRGITTA VISSER. BIRGITTA VISSER. And BIRGITTA is going to tell us who she is, tell us a little bit about herself, where she's located, exactly where she's located right now as we speak, because I messed that all up. Anyway, so we're gonna listen to Birgitta for a minute and let's meet her and let's see what she has to say. Hey, Birgitta, are you with me?
Yes, I am, Wyliner.
All righty then. Wonderful. I'm excited about that. So listen, Birgitta, I'm going to give you the floor
Yeah.
to tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do and where you're from and some personal stuff. You know, you don't have to tell us everything, but tell us who you are and where you're located. Make sure you let everybody know where you're chiming in from right now, okay, and what you do. And tell us a little bit about your, what you do. Oh, Birgitta.
Hi, Wyliner. It's great to be on your show. So yes, I'm Birgitta. I'm actually Dutch, but I live in Sutton, which is Greater London in the UK. So it's south of London. And I'm actually a holistic therapist, and I used to teach. I'm a healer, and I studied various modalities like Reiki, Meridian psychotherapy, EFT, aroma touch, which is with doTERRA oils, and I also channel the divine. Plus, I have my own YouTube channel where I interview inspirational people like healers, mediums, some sports persona, and it's about life, and how we go through issues. And they give the tools, and I talk about life after death. What happens when people cross over, how a spirit contact the living. So I just want to get, alternative healing more out there and to inspire people like you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Birgitta. Looks like you got a lot going on there, girl.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna see what you really made of. Okay, that's why I brought you on the Wild
Yeah.
show so I can see what
Mm-hmm.
you made of, girl. I'm gonna find out what you're really working with. Okay, all right. So listen, I want to start by asking you a few questions, Birgitta, and
Sure.
so we can get to know you just a little bit from a spiritual point of view. Let's find out where you really are in this life of living in spiritual
Mm-hmm.
world or whatever. Okay, so Birgitta, I'm going to ask you some questions, and before you answer, just give me a minute to get you up on the screen. All right, before you answer. Okay, so my first question for you, Birgitta, is: do you believe in God or a superior being of some type? Yes or no? Do you believe in God or a superior being of some type? Yes or no, Brigitte?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so also, uh, what name do you call this God that you believe in, and why, please?
God to me is God. You can call him God source, God source energy. That's what I call it, because God is energy. And I don't care if you call God Buddha, Allah, Krishna. Um, it's all the same.
Mm.
God is God.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty then. So we're gonna see where we're going with this. Okay. All right. So God is God under your belief, and you say you believe that it's all the same. Buddha, God, Allah, Krishna, uh, all of them is the same as quote unquote God.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so do you I'm just running with this right now. Do you believe in the Bible, or do you use some other type of book? Or, does the Bible stand firm with you, or is there something else that you use under your godly, quote unquote, godly belief, Brigitte?
Oh, the Bible.
Yes, the Bible.
Okay. I believe that, of course, the Bible was man-written, and it's been rewritten and rewritten. So, I mean, the church is in my heart, so to speak. I don't need to go to church, but if other people feel comfortable with it and they feel comfortable with reading the Bible, that's fine. I always say, whatever you believe in, if it gives you that faith, to move forward in life, then that is great. I don't follow any scriptures. No, I don't.
Okay, so basically, in answer to my question, is it safe to say that you really don't believe in the Bible?
Correct.
Okay. The rubber meets the road. The rubber meets the road on the Wiley Show starting right now. Birgitta from London, England says that she does not believe in the Bible, and she says that it's because it has been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten. Oh, very interesting. So my next question was going to be, what type of Bible do you use and why? So you've already basically answered that because you don't use a Bible. And the reason why is because you feel that it has been rewritten several times over. Let me just kind of stick with that just for 1 second here, Birgitta. With you not believing in the Bible and you say that it was rewritten several times over and that type of thing, what's wrong with the fact that it was rewritten? I mean, the biggest majority of the people in the world tend to follow, I would say, the King James Version. I think that's probably the most popular. So what would you find that is so wrong with the King James Version that you can't follow it, Birgitta?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. As I said, I don't care what scriptures people read. If they believe in it, that's great. As if they have faith in it, if it helps them move forward in life, that's great.
Okay.
But personally, I don't believe in that.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is about you. I'm not asking you about everybody else because you can't speak for everybody else. So I'm asking you about yourself personally. What is it that stops you from following the Bible and preferably the King James Version or whatever? What stops you, Birgitta?
It's never appealed to me. Never. And I think because I just have different beliefs. That's basically it.
Okay. Well, I guess y'all heard that. She said it doesn't appeal to her. Okay, so do you have a denominational belief? Are you a religious person at all, Birgitta? If you have a denominational belief, tell us what that is and why you choose to believe it. If you don't have a denominational belief, tell us why you don't have a denominational belief, please.
Okay, well, I don't follow a religion, but I am a spiritual person. So does that answer that? Because like being
kind of short, but I would like for you to give me more in depth on why you choose to not be a religious person. Why are you what you are, spiritual person, but not a religious person? I really want you to give me more on that, please.
So when we talk about religion, that's really when you follow scriptures or when you go to church or where you go to, whatever you believe in. And I don't fit that. I don't fit the norm. I mean, I'm spiritual, and like I said, I carry God within my heart. So I don't need to go to church.
Okay.
But does that answer it?
Okay. Well, I'm not talking about church. I'm talking about just a religious, lifestyle. It don't have to
Hmm.
be church because there's a lot of people that
But it's
are
fine.
religious. But of course, let me finish. But of course, when you consider yourself to be under a religion, then most people do go to a church. But there are people that are under religions that do not go to a church, but they are still under some type of religion. But of course, you're saying that you don't use the Bible at all. So you don't use any of the what they call, quote unquote, any of the holy scriptures uh, at all. So I'm just trying to find out. Well, how do you equate a God if you've never? Well, maybe you have in the past. Have you ever used the Bible at all? Were you ever under a religion at all in your past? Before you became at the status where you are right now. In the past, were you a part of a religion such as Christianity or anything like that, Brigitta?
No, no, actually, no. Although I've been to church a couple of times when I was younger, um, but that was about it.
Okay. All right. So basically, what I'm seeing here is that you don't have a religious
No,
background of any type anyway. So it's not like you grew up as a child, your parents taught you to go to church and read the Bible to you and that type of thing. You were not raised in that format. So how do you know what a God is if you've never been under any type of religion? How do you get God? How do you equate God as a part of your life?
because we are all particles of God. You know, when I look at you, you are God. You are God to me. Um, so we come from source. We come from God's source energy, right? We're born, and we go back to God's source
Okay,
energy, and that is how I see it.
wait. You're getting ahead of me. Getting ahead of me. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to know where we go back to. I don't want to know where we came from. I just want to know how do you come to the conclusion that there is a God? Period. Seeing as how you've never been taught anything religious wise. Because most people that believe there is a God, most people that
Mhm.
believe there is a God, they have some type of religious background that puts them in that state of mind and puts them in a position to where that they feel there is a God. But an atheist person doesn't believe that there is a God at all. And most atheist people probably didn't have any type of religious background either and could care less and don't want any of it. An agnostic person believes that there's a superior being, but they don't believe in church. So would it be safe to say that you are that of agnostic instead
If you want
of
to
because
categorize me as that,
okay,
yeah.
wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Give me a chance to bring you up, okay, before you talk to me. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is I want you to, let me know because I don't want to say that you're an atheist. We actually had you listed on the website as anti-denominational under the same category as my other guest that was supposed to be here. But at this particular point, it looks like you're not even that either. So we need to know, would you be considered to be agnostic? And please, before you answer me, always give me a chance to bring you up on the screen, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to class me as an agnostic, yeah, but I'm not an atheist because an atheist does not believe. So, and I do believe that, I do believe in God because without God, how could I be here?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So we do have that part clarified. You do believe that there is a God and you would be considered to be an agnostic. But you just don't believe in going to church and being under any type of religion such as Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, Hinduism, any of these religions, you choose not to be a part of any of those religions. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now we getting somewhere. Now we are getting somewhere. We are trying to figure out who you really are before we start getting into your perspective about who you recognize on the other side, because we need to know where you're really coming from here. Okay, so you're not a part of Christianity and any of that. Now, do you do any type of worship at all? I mean, I know that you are not of a religion, and we understand that, but do you do any type of worship? And if you do, what would you call that, or how do you do it, or what is it to you? What do you do to acknowledge your God that you believe in? Go ahead.
So if I ask for help, if I ask God for help, the divine for help, I just ask for it, or I meditate. What you call prayer is, for me, I just sit down and I ask for help. I ask the universe for help. I ask God for help. That's how I do it.
Okay, so I guess we would say that prayer, you believe in prayer? You believe in praying, or you just meditate and you just go into some type of meditation state and then you just talk to your creator, and that's what you call your worship, or you get down on your knees and you pray, or what, how do you do what you do?
So I don't sit down on my knees and pray. I could be asking anywhere. I could be in the train. I could be in the shower. I could be, at work and ask for help. Because it doesn't matter that if you need help, you can ask it wherever you are, even if you're in the supermarket. That's what I believe.
Okay. All right. So are you always just asking, or do you give thanks and praise, or are you always on the requesting end?
No, no, no. I also give thanks. I also say thank you. And if there's one thing, I will share this with you. If there's one thing that my dad taught me before he crossed over as a kid, he always said, when you pass someone that's either in a bad mood or has difficulties or lives on the streets, always say, bless you, in silence.
Okay.
And I still do that.
Okay. All right. Listen, everybody. I want to let you guys all know that the phone lines are open, because we got an interesting lady here, and she's chiming in all the way from London, England, and she's got a very interesting way of putting things. So y'all might want to call in and help a sister out if you want to, and I'm gonna be okay with that. Believe me, I am. Okay. So if you feel like calling in and helping me out, please do so. And the phone lines are open, and the phone number is 702-850-5580. That's 702-850-5580. And you can call in and say whatever you feel like you need to say to this lady here. So listen, with that being said, we do have a caller on the line, and let's see what the caller has to say right now. Okay. Hello, caller. How are you?
All right, and you?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Wallina Show today. And will you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
This is Elder Miller from North Carolina.
Okay, Elder Miller from North Carolina. You're one of the Wallina Show regulars. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and how about yourself?
Wonderful, absolutely marvelous. So, would you you notice that we have a guest chiming in today from London, England, all the way from London, England, and that's where she is right now, talking to us on the Wallina Show today. So, what is your? Do you have a question for her? Comment?
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is this: with my religious belief, actually, I started on my religious belief not believing until such time as I was the anointing moved upon me, and I got an understanding of what God's ability was. Okay, so what I would like to know from your guest is if your prayer is more of meditation and you don't necessarily believe or use scripture, how is it that you know him? And more so, how is it that he knows you? I'm not trying to say that he doesn't. I'm just asking, how do you have a relationship with someone whom you basically have not sought out? That's my question, and I'll take my answer off the air. I appreciate your show, and I appreciate your guest, and I thank you, guests, for being with the show from London, England. And I'll be looking forward to hearing your response. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Elder Miller, thank you very much. Well, listen, Birgitta, that is the question that I was actually trying to ask you. And it's funny that my caller called in and well, you know, the caller just helped me out. That's basically what just happened. The caller helped me out because I was trying to ask you that question. Okay, how do you, how do you know this God that you meditating to? You know, if you don't, so you heard the caller. You heard the caller, right, Birgitta?
Yeah, it was a bit vague. I couldn't hear everything he said.
Okay. I'll tell you what, caller, I know you're tuning in, so would you please call back and because I don't do a good job at repeating the questions or that the callers have. I just don't do a good job with it. So I'm just gonna tell the truth about that part. So we got Birgitta, but I believe that the caller was trying to say to you, how can you? He was saying that most people that's under any type of religious belief hang on, maybe this is the caller calling back, I don't know, hold on, let's see. Hello, caller, how are you?
All right, this is Miller calling back.
Okay, can you please, yes, thank you very much for staying tuned and calling back. Can you please repeat what you said and make it as short as possible so she can she said it was sort of vague. She didn't get it that well. So can you try again?
Ms. I would like to know, we live in a society where we know or possibly know our neighbors, and our neighbors know us. But if you're having a relationship with a God that you can't feel, can't touch, but you meditate to, how is it that you know him and he knows you? Because there's a scripture in the Bible that says, we healed in your name, we cast out devils in your name, and where the response from God says, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, for I never knew you. Even though the people did good things and the people was sincere about what they were doing, how is it that you know him and is it that he knows you? Not because, I understand that he made all of us, but in that scripture where he says, depart from me, he's letting people know that they've gone out to do something that they weren't really required to do by him. So that's basically my question. How do you know him without a spiritual knowledge, and how does he know you, since you say you don't have necessarily a spiritual background?
Okay.
Is that clear?
I believe so. Is that clear to you, Birgitta? Shake your head yes or no, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so she says yes. All right, so let's go, and we're going to give her, and thank you, caller, for calling back. Appreciate it. Okay, Miss Birgitta, will you please go ahead and address the caller's question, please? Go ahead.
So as he asked, sorry, it was a bit, the voice was a little muffled. That's what I meant. But how do I know God? Well, how does anybody know God? You know, does he know God? Just because somebody reads scriptures, does that make him? Does that make that person know God? Just because I don't read scriptures, I believe in God. So it's, yeah, I mean, I believe in God. I'm part of God, just like you are, just like everyone else is. And whatever type of relationship you have with God, that's up to the individual. But yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what he was kind of asking. Everybody has a relationship with God. Everyone.
Okay. Okay, the rubber meets the road right here on the Wiley and the Show, and I want y'all to keep that in mind. Okay, so listen, caller, you got your answer from the guest, and if you beg to differ, the phone line's still open. That's up to you. All right, so listen, let me tell y'all a little something right here. Let me just say this. If anybody that's going to be a guest on the Wiley and the Show decide that they're going to show up when they get ready to show up, they're going to have a tough row to hoe. I'm going to make that perfectly clear right here and right now to Don C. Harris, who just showed up to the Wiley and the Show late. So understand this. Understand this. I will throw you under the bus when you are late on my show. Do you understand me, Don C. Harris, who just showed up for the show a half hour late or more? Don C. Harris, welcome to the Wiley and the Show. Hold on. Go ahead. Hey, Don, how you doing?
I am so sorry. I had trouble with the link, and you know how it goes. I'm sorry about that. But here I am, not quite Superman, more like Clark Kent right now. Trying to catch up.
Yeah. Well, Don, you know what? If I hadn't had you as a guest on my show before, man, let me tell you something. You would be in trouble. But anyway, the show must go on. So I don't have time to play with you now, Don. So you're just gonna have to get in where you fit in. Listen, I have a caller on the line. Let's see what the caller has to say. Hello, caller. How are you?
Yeah, this is Elder Miller again.
Okay.
I just want to say now listen, I'm being completely serious.
Okay.
I am not attacking Miss Birgitta.
Okay.
I in no way mean to belittle or demean anyone. I just, according to how I know God, and according to how she says she knows him, those are two different aspects. Not to say that my aspect can be better than hers. I just don't know it from her point of view. Now, we're getting to know her, and your topic is the topic whereas for the show about after you have passed on.
Right.
Now, so if in my thinking, if he doesn't know you before you pass on, or he has no personal relationship, or you have no capital actually within him before you pass on, how then do you gain capital after you have passed on? And I appreciate Don C. Harris being on. I realize he more or less would understand my point of view, that you get out what you put in. If you put carrots in a colander, you expect to pull carrots out. But if you put carrots in and pull out onions, something is wrong with what happened. So that's my point. I'm not trying to belittle anybody because I appreciate your show. I appreciate your guest. I just wanted to understand. I thank you and I thank your guest. I really do love the show, and I hate when I can't get to the show, but I just wanted to make that point clear. I don't intend to belittle or berate anyone. So thank you very much, and Miss Birgitta, be blessed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Elder Miller. We appreciate you calling back and clarifying yourself on that. But listen, we got to get past that, and we got to move on to the next questions here. So Birgitta, that was a very nice comment from my caller there for you on your behalf. Okay, so listen, the questions that are on the table right now. And so I'm just gonna Don C. Harris, you're late, but I'm gonna give you a quick 1 minute here to tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what your denominational belief is. We have Birgitta VISSER, and she is chiming in all the way from London, England, at this very moment. And you want to let everybody know, Don C. Harris, where you're calling in from, where you're joining us from, and what your belief is. And I was asking her about whether or not she believes in God and that type of thing. So just kind of give us a little bit of a briefing on you and your biblical belief. That was another question I asked her about, does she believe in the Bible? And so just kind of help us out here to understand who you are for the viewers that do not know you. Don C. Harris, go ahead.
Sure. First of all, hello, Birgitta, and I see you very well over there in England, and I appreciate you being on the show with me. This is going to be, I look forward to this, believe it or not. I apologize about being late. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm coming to you from New Mexico, a little place called Pie Town, where we have it's a ministry, but we're not a church, and we are very unconventional. I introduce myself as a preacher, but probably not one like you've ever known. I believe that the scriptures are true. They don't run my life. Church doesn't run my life. Preachers don't, and I'm, in a lot of people's eyes, very, very sacrilegious. But the truth is that I do believe in the God that is mentioned in the Bible. I liked what you said a while ago. Birgitta said a while ago that, well, who can say that they know God? And only an honest person talks like that. Most people think because they know the Bible, they know God, because their God is a Bible. And if it's written in there, then they believe it, and they would, they act like they would die for it, but they wouldn't. Most people are willing to kill for God, but nobody's willing to die for him. But it is an unconventional stand. I was interested in the subject that was presented because we were talking about the afterlife, and as you're probably aware of, the Apocrypha that has been removed from our scriptures, Sirach 7 goes into great detail about what happens to us after we die.
Okay,
and,
so
and that has been
Don.
Don,
okay, don't get too far ahead of me now, because we're not there yet. Okay, we're not there yet. So just tell us about you right now. Don't go into the topic yet, because we haven't made it yet. You just in time for that. So when you late, you don't know what's really going on anyway.
All right.
Go ahead.
I mistakenly said Sirach, and I meant Esdras 7. But nevertheless, I appreciate the honesty already of your guest, and she would not get along very well at all with the average American Christian because they're a bunch of nuts. And they're crazy people. All they do is walk around and talk about smoking and drinking and dress length and whether or not you say poopy if you hit your hand with a hammer to decide whether or not you're Christian. You got to go to church every Sunday and dinner's on the ground, and it's all a bunch of the American Christianity is a waste. It's worse than a waste of time because I meet these people in hospitals when they're dying and they cry like babies and they're boo-hooing and they're worried about dying. What are you worried about? You're worried about dying and going to a wonderful place called heaven? They never believed it. They don't live. Anyway, I am so happy to be free of Christianity. It's like being free from drugs or something for me.
Okay. All right, Don. I'm gonna get you down off the soapbox now. You done. Stick of working. You're done. Okay. All right. So thanks, Don, for joining us late from Pie Town, New Mexico. Believe me, everybody's gonna know that you was late for the Wiley show today. Okay. So listen, we might go just a couple of if you guys don't mind, because of the fact that I do want to cover a little bit more material. If we can do an extra 15 minutes today, that'd be great. Is that okay with the two of you, my guests? Okay, wonderful. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so listen, I want to share this little article with you guys that I just came about, and then we're going to move forward. Okay, so this article was written by a guy named Dylan Burrows. I'd appreciate it if my two guests, if you would listen closely to this article when I share it with you, because I want your input on this article once I'm done. Okay. One of our most anticipated desires for heaven is the ability to reunite with loved ones in Christ who have gone before us. What does the Bible say about our ability to recognize our loved ones in heaven? A look at 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 18 is helpful in answering this question. The Apostle Paul addresses what will happen when Jesus returns for his followers. He begins this stating, brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. The believer can look at the afterlife with hope. Paul clearly expresses believers will reunite with those who have preceded us in death. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. Verse 17. There would be little reason for joy at this time if we could not recognize one another in our heavenly bodies. Paul encourages believers with the rapture, the resurrection, and the reunion of believers. Our biblical passages complement this concept of recognizing our loved ones in heaven. First, Elijah and Moses were clearly recognized by Peter, James, and John at the Transfiguration. We are not told how, but this example suggests we will recognize past saints in the next life. In addition, Luke 16:19 through 31, Jesus gives an account of a rich man and Lazarus. Both men died with Lazarus in heaven, Abraham's side. Verse 23, and the rich man was in Hades, where he was in torment. We are told he looked up and saw Abraham far away with Lazarus by his side. Notice, however, that the rich man could still recognize Lazarus. Abraham even recognized the rich man, though he was in torment. In the Old Testament, David offered words of comfort regarding the loss of his own infant son. David responded, but now that he is dead, why should I go on fasting? Can I bring him back again? I will go to him, but he will not return to me. 2 Samuel 12 and 23. David expected to see his son in heaven and be able to recognize him. The Old Testament often spoke of the dead being gathered to his people. Uh, Genesis 25:8, 35:29, 49:29, Numbers 20:24, Judges 2 and 10. Those who leave this world will be recognizable and known in the next. Jesus also taught, I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 8 and 11. In the future kingdom, these Old Testament saints will be known and recognizable. We can expect other believers will be known and recognized as well. Further, Jesus was recognizable following his resurrection. Though he had the ability to disguise himself in Luke 24:13 through 16, he was clearly recognized at other times. When Thomas saw Jesus, he immediately responded, My Lord and my God. John 20 and 28. Since believers will have a glorified body like the one Jesus has in Philippians 3 and 21, we can expect we will have the ability to recognize one another in heaven. I want to get you guys' feedback on that particular article, and I'm going to start with Don C. Harris.
Well, as you know, I don't believe any of that hooey about going to heaven and all this walking around on streets of gold and getting a glorified body and turning into some other being and all the rest of that junk. I don't believe it because I believe the scriptures, and the scriptures don't talk about that at all. We don't change from one world to another world. We go from one kingdom to another kingdom. We stay right here with our 2 feet on this earth. How you going to know people in heaven? Well, first of all, you're not going to heaven. Second, if you want to meet them in the other kingdom, why would they look any different than they did yesterday? Because they're still the same person standing on their own 2 feet on the earth. And if they made it through that horrible time of judgment, then they're standing right there. There's nothing magical about this. That's where there they are. They're still alive. That's why it says those who are still alive and remain. Well, why would they look any different or be any different? It's all fairy tales. Go ahead.
Okay, Don C. Harris. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you're done. Birgitta, it is now time for you, young lady, please, ma'am, if you will, to express your thoughts about the article that I just read, please. Thank you.
Whew, as part of the scriptures, I don't know. Look, when we cross over, when there is an afterlife, okay? When we cross over, I don't know how it's going to be, what it's going to be like, but there is an afterlife, and souls will recognize one another up there. But as far as the scriptures go, no, I don't know.
Okay, so Birgitta, those were biblical. I would say that article, and Don C. Harris would agree with me on this. I would say that article was written by someone under the Christianity umbrella, under the umbrella of Christianity. Would you agree, Don C. Harris?
Sure, you can hear their references to like the one you're talking about when he brings them with him, talks about bringing these souls back. There's people that believe that when they die, they go straight to heaven and sit there and wait until the resurrection and come back with Jesus. It's
okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I have to stop Don because Don is just you know what, Don? This is not your show. I tell you that all the time.
You keep telling me that.
I have told you that more than once. This is not your doggone show. So you need to just chill. When I ask you a question, anyway, everybody that's seen Don on my show before, they know that I just tell him like it is. I don't even play with him because, you know, he's a real piece of work over there in Pie Town, New Mexico. Anyway, yeah, the article that I read, it had a lot of biblical references. Okay, a lot of biblical references. And so if you're not a biblical reading person, Bible reading person, then maybe you wouldn't recognize any of that that I just read. And so that's why I just kind of wanted to see where each one of you were coming from on that. Now, Don C. Harris is a Bible reading person. So Don, I'm sure you recognize a lot of those scriptures that I referred to. Okay, Birgitta may not have recognized any of them, or maybe one or two, or something sounds slightly familiar in there. Okay, but I just kind of wanted to see what you guys' thought process would be on that. So let's move on though, because our time is really basically up, but we're gonna go an extra 15 minutes for those who are viewing out there watching the show at this particular time. And thank you guys for sticking with us throughout this extra time. And so we're going to okay, so we have a caller on the line, and then I'll go back to the questions, and let's see what the caller has to say. Hello, caller, how are you?
All righty, this is Elder Miller again.
Okay. Okay, Elder Miller, what's going on now?
Let me pose this question to Don Sierra. Where the scripture says, there's no knowledge nor device in the grave where thou goest. Okay, if there's no knowledge or understanding or any of that, and as he said, some people think that you go to heaven right after you pass on and all this. Now, my question to him is, because I too am very interested in the scenario which he posed, that because I want to understand how is it that we can be on this side of life, and the scripture says, it gave a passage about a woman that married 7 brothers, and the question was, whose wife would she be? And the answer or the reply to the question was, she would be neither's wife because they were neither be marrying or given in marriage. Now, if they're all going to be like his supreme body, because they'll see Christ as he is, then I agree. I think that we would all know one another, but I've heard from several different pastors and whatnot that people won't. So could he enlighten on that?
Well, are you prepared?
Did you understand the question?
Did you understand the question, Don? Yes or no? Okay, yeah, he says yes, he understood. So give me a minute, caller. Don, I will come over to you in just a second, please. Caller, are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you for calling in again. All right, so we're gonna allow Don, and is that for Don and that was just for Don, right? Not Miss. Okay, I think that was just for you, Don. I don't think it was for Birgitta at all. All right, so go ahead, Don.
There's two ways of exiting this life. Now, that article tended to deal a lot with what conventional Christianity calls the rapture, the end of time, Jesus coming back to the earth, and those kind of things, which is one way of moving from this particular kingdom that we live in to the next. Then there is the death and resurrection of a human being that I happen to believe in, and that Jesus taught us that there are two resurrections. One of them is the people who honor God and who live for him and do the right thing. They are resurrected when he returns to the earth. And then 1,000 years later, there are the people who are resurrected for judgment and final damnation. And so you're dealing with two different things here. These men asked Jesus about this woman was married to 5 men. Whose wife will she be in the resurrection? Now you have to remember that these were Sadducees that were speaking to Jesus, and Sadducees' doctrine did not allow for resurrection. They did not believe in resurrection. The Pharisees did. The Sadducees did not. And the Sadducees were trying to discount Jesus' teaching that there was such a thing as a resurrection. They were essentially saying, this is a foolish doctrine. Look at what you're saying. Whose wife is this woman going to be? And if there is such a thing as a resurrection? Of course, there's no such thing as a resurrection. Now, Jesus answered that question by saying, you make a mistake, you err, you're making an error because you don't know two things: the scriptures or the power of God. These people they're going to be different than they are now. They're going to be like the angels. It doesn't mean that we're going to have wings, or that we're going to be, 6 foot tall, or translucent beings, or glow in the dark people. He's saying that they're going to be as the angels in this area of marriage, and the things that you feel like are important in your life now things are going to change in the new kingdom. And so to be as the angel, I've never heard of an angel getting married. They don't do that. There's a lot of things angels don't do that human beings are involved in all the time. And he says, this is where we're going. We're changing into proper being. And but that's not an instantaneous thing, according to the scriptures. So he's just saying things are going to be different there than they are here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Somebody's got some feedback going on there. Okay. So listen. Boy, I tell you the truth. Y'all really be putting a sister through something on this show right here. The rubber meets the road on the Wallina show every time I come on the air. Okay, so caller, I hope you got what you wanted from Don C. Harris. If not, he ain't going nowhere. Anyway, so we'll move on. I want to know, do you believe in fate? Some of the questions that I'm asking, I actually asked the last show, because the last show that I did was, where do you go when you die? And this show, and that was a 3-part show, and it looks like this one might end up being a 3-part if my guest is willing to hang in there. But otherwise, that was a 3-part show. This show is, who will you recognize when you cross over? So, but some of the questions that I used then, I need to still kind of interject them into this one as well, because it sort of fits. So, Birgitta, do you believe in fate?
That's a very broad question. Do I believe in fate? There are 2 aspects to that. One, you create your own life. However, you do meet certain, and this is where I'm coming from, okay? You meet certain individuals on this plane that you are meant to meet. Because now I have to backtrack a little bit. Before you're born, okay, you make a soul contract. You go in front of the etheric council and you make a soul contract, okay? So you choose.
Wait. Don't go there. Don't go there. Just I can't. Oh God, I can't let you do that right now. Okay, I heard what you just said, but you gotta cut it somewhere in there, because we're not ready for what you're getting ready to put out there. That's some deep stuff you're getting ready to say there. So I need you to just back up a little bit, hold your roll, slow your roll for a minute. just tell me, what about fate? Do you believe in fate? Do you believe in fate? And maybe I need to just say yes or no, because I don't want you to go so far ahead of me there, okay? This is some serious conversation we have in here, you guys, and I got a lot of questions that's going to lead up to some things, and I cannot allow you guys to go way out there, and then I got to try to reel you back in and go back again. So just answer my question. Do you believe in fate? And if you do believe in fate, if you don't believe in fate, then say, no, I don't believe in fate. If you do believe in fate, what does fate mean to you? Let me try to make it like that. If that'll help you to kind of just stay in my little box here that I want you to stay in, okay? Go ahead, Brigitta.
Oh, how am I going to stay in that little box?
I know it's hard. Okay.
Well, I'll repeat the first part where I say you create your own life.
Okay.
Fate, yes, it exists because certain individuals are put on your path.
Okay. 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 You helping me out now. You helping me out. Thank you for just kind of just tone it down just a little bit. That was good. That was good. Okay. Work with me, Birgitta. I know it's hard since you all the way over there in London, England. But anyway, work with me. Don C. Harris, do you believe in fate? And I don't want you to go out in left field either, Don. So don't you do it. Go ahead.
Let me clarify, because I'm having trouble hearing exactly. You saying F-A-T-E?
Yes.
Or are you talking F-A-I-T-H?
I'm talking about fate. F-A-T-E.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Do I believe in fate? That things are predestined or predetermined to happen, or that as they happen, this is essentially what goofy Christians would call the will of God? No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Now, here we go, y'all. Why is it that most people, now I'm not talking about religious people, I said most people, okay, period. So we're not picking on religious folks right now, okay? Why is it that most people are afraid to die? Why is it that most people are afraid to die? Birgitta, what is your take on the reason why most people are afraid to die?
Because they have forgotten. They have forgotten their true essence. You know, I always say we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And people just don't remember, and they're afraid to die. Whereas, you know, I call Earth our playground. This is where we experience life. And when we cross over, that is our home. That is our true home.
Okay. Let me see what Don gives me on this. Why are most people afraid to die, Don?
There's two particular scriptures that mention a characteristic that is put into every human being. One of them is scripture in Acts. I can't tell you where it is, but it's just kind of a parenthetical mention saying that God has placed eternity in their hearts. The other thing is that there is where it says that there is a light in every man. There's a light of guidance that is placed into every man. And I think that every person on the face of the earth, except the ones that have destroyed their brains for some reason or another, and have lost control of their thoughts, and there are people who are that way. I think that every person on the face of the earth knows that they will one day give an account for the way they live, for the way they treated other people. Not necessarily for the way they treat God. They always talk about sinning against God, but if you look at the the complaint that God always had with his people was the way you guys treat each other. And I think that that people know that one day you will give an account for that. And I think that, and everybody knows that that is at the end of their lives. And so they're afraid to die.
Okay.
The big question is, Wylena, why are the big mouth Christians afraid to die? That's what I want to know.
Don C. Harris, I'm gonna have to put you off my show. Yeah, you keep on, man. Boy, I tell you, the rubber meets the road on the Wylena show every time I come on the air. Y'all, I just love doing this show. Okay, so yeah, well, Don, just in response to that, last week, or the last show, I did ask that question about Christians, quote unquote, Christian people or religious people.
Yeah.
Since you brought that up, I did ask that on the last show of my other guests. I had different guests, and I did ask them the question of when, you know, religious people always say that they want to see God, they're anxious to see Jesus, they can't wait to get to heaven, they can't wait to see his face and be with him and blase blase, but they don't want to die. And even when somebody gets sick or something like that, and they think that that person is gonna die, they start praying for that person to stay here. And my question was, why pray for the person to stay here if you are so anxious to meet your creator or to be by quote unquote Jesus' side, or Yeshua, Yehoshua, whatever you call the name of the man that walked this earth that most people believe in? Why is it that you're afraid to die and go ahead and be with that person? Why not just say, yes, I'm getting up out of here. I'm headed to meet Jesus, or I'm going to be with God right now. Bye, y'all. You know, why not just say it like that and be done with it? But on the flip side of the coin, it's quite the contrary. Most people, and that's just across the board, religious people and non-religious people are usually all afraid to die. And
Well,
so
there's also
what I
something.
got from what I got from Don is that they're afraid to die because of their personal behavior here on this planet, and they do feel somewhere within themselves that they got to give an account for the negativity or the wrong things that they may have done to someone else. So they're afraid to go face that.
Can I
So,
add something?
quickly, Don, go
Just
ahead,
quickly.
quickly.
I just want to say that my answer can come across as being a little harsh and a little too general. There also are people who they're not wanting to die. Nobody wants anything to come to an end. Even a high wire walker that knows there's a net does not enjoy falling off of that wire. And the truth is that none of us are going to want to see our end. We're concerned about our loved ones, about the people that we take care of, that we're responsible for. There's a lot of things involved in this. So I don't want to make it so general as to say that people are afraid they're going to get thrown to the flames, because there's good reason to be concerned about death.
Okay. All right, Don. Thank you. And that was good that you clarified that too. That was good. Okay. All right. So listen, we got to move forward because we you know what, I want to ask one more question, then we're gonna go on and get off the air. Okay. So, well, two more questions. Is there, and I want you guys to just give me a yes or no on this, okay? Do you believe that there's a heaven or a hell, or a heaven and a hell? Yes or no, please. I need you guys to just help me out here because we got to go. Do you believe that there's a heaven and a hell, or a heaven or a hell? Yes or no? Birgitta.
Can I say yes and no?
Okay, yes and no. All right, Don C. Harris. Do you believe that there's a heaven and a hell, or a heaven or a hell? Yes or no?
If you're defining hell as a dirt hole in the ground, a grave where people are buried, absolutely, I believe in them. Everybody's going to see one. If you're talking about a lake of fire that burns forever, yes, I believe that that place exists. I don't think that people are going to burn forever. If you're talking about heaven being the place where the Lord God himself lives, yes, I believe that. But I don't believe anybody's going there to see him.
All right,
Yes and
all
no.
right, all right, all right, all right. Yes and no. Boy, I tell you the truth. Okay, so some people teach that there is an in-between place where you go and wait to be called before you go to either heaven or hell.
Yeah.
Some people teach that there's an in-between location where when you pass on, you go to this place and you wait to go to heaven or you wait to go to hell. Do you believe this? Is this a part of your belief system? Birgitta, is this a part of your belief system? Yes or no?
Good for you.
No.
Oh.
Can I just elaborate on that? No, I don't believe there's an in-between place. When we talk about heaven or hell, you know, on earth, you make your own, you either make your, you can make your own hell on earth, so to speak. But when you cross over, I don't believe that there is a hell, because I believe that God is love. That's what I believe. So there is no in-between place.
Okay.
You know, when they decide, oh, you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. No, I don't believe that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm gonna go on over here and let Don chime in on that too.
I'll make it
Don,
short.
don't you rake us over the coals too much. Okay, so you heard the question, so go ahead and give me an answer, please.
Don't have any crosses around my neck. I don't have any pointy hats on my head, and I don't speak Latin, so there's nothing Catholic about me. And they made all of that stuff up. Purgatory, limbo, they're all Catholic words for them to, so they can extract money from their congregations to get your poor relatives out of there. And they want to, you just got to throw some money in here and we can get your Auntie May out of hell and get her into purgatory, or out of purgatory and get her into heaven. It's all made up stuff. So no, not interested.
Well, okay. Well, listen, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to wrap this thing up now. So I have a lot more to cover with you all starting next week, and you know, I know that you, the two of you, you have. I do believe that you have a different perspective on some of this, and so, and especially when it comes to the part after, you know, when you come back, or if you come back, or let me just quickly ask this, and I want I'm on because see, Birgitta, she's been really trying. She's been trying her best to cut loose. But Vegeta, I just want you to hold most of it until next week, okay? Don't let them have it all in one day, all right? Because we're going to cover some stuff next week. Now, next week, we're going to have another guest that's going to be joining us. His name is Jonas Rosen. Jonas Rosen. And I do believe that Jonas is over there in England somewhere as well. I'm not exactly sure what country he's in, but he's not in America, I don't think. So anyway, we're going to be, he's going to join us next week as well. And we're going to see what his perspective is, along with Don C. Harris and Birgitta. But listen, Birgitta, and then I'm going to let Don tap on it too, and then we're gone. This is the last of it. No more today. All right. So what I just said was for you, Birgitta, did you get what I just said? I want to ask you about, you know, you do believe that people, do you believe that people come back some kind of way?
Yes.
So just kind of give me a little bit on that, just a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I believe that people come back. You're talking about reincarnation, aren't you?
No, I'm not talking about reincarnation, quote unquote, but if that's what you want to call it, go right ahead. But I don't know what you mean by people come back. But you know, sometimes people, it's hard for me to say this because I'm not trying to put the words in your mouth. So what do you believe about people? I'm gonna say it like that. What do you believe about people returning to coming back to this life, another life, or something to that effect? I'm not saying it the way I really want to say it. I don't think. Uh, I'm trying to say people believe that people can return in a way. All right. If you want to use the word reincarnation, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell us what you think about that.
Okay. I do. I believe that we live many lives. I do. You know, it could be 100, could be 200. I don't know. But every time we come back, we have different experiences because we so choose to have these experiences. And I don't want to get too much into the matter because otherwise I'm going to be, you know, you're going to have me on for another half an hour. But yes, I very much believe that we come back because we want to learn certain things. And when we come back, we totally forget, you know, and we maneuver ourselves through the human life, the human drama. And I think life is very much like acting because you play out a role. So that's how I see it in a boxed up version.
Okay. Thank you, Birgitta. Let me get Don in on that, and then that's the last question. Go ahead, Don. Take the floor, please.
Well, there's about three different ways of coming back. One is resuscitation. That's what happened to Lazarus. Then there is reincarnation, which is to come back in flesh that was not yours beforehand. What that literally means. And then there is resurrection, which is what happened to Jesus. And I believe in resuscitation. It happens every day. I mean, it happens, well, not every day, but I mean, it happens in the medical field. There's such a thing. But reincarnation means that your same spirit takes on different flesh. And because my faith in this area is based in the scriptures simply don't allow that. They just don't allow it. With a handful of scriptures that it's appointed unto man once to die. It talks about it just doesn't allow for the same spirit in a different body. Even John the Baptist did not believe that he was Elijah. Would actually bolster her argument. But anyway, I happen to believe in resurrection. That one day that those who have loved the Lord and lived for Him will come out of the grave and be alive on this earth.
All righty, Don C. Harris, and already we are getting out of here, you guys. Listen here. Thank you so much to Birgitta VISSER from London, England. And she's going to be chiming back in with us again next week. And Don C. Harris from Pottown, New Mexico, who better be on time next week. He better not be late, because if he do, I'm going to mute his mic. Anyway.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to both of my guests for tuning in, joining the show today, and thank you to you, everybody who's out there who's watching on WildlyTheTVShow.com. Make sure you send me an email and do what you got to do. You know, talk to me and help me get some more guests on here and help me get some more topics and all that kind of good stuff. Listen, y'all know who I am. I'm Wileen, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel, and y'all know what show this is. This is the Wileen Show, and this is where the rubber meets the road. We'll see you next week.
Mm.